Thank you for joining us as we close out our DEI event, again, joined by one of my amazing colleagues, Gillian Power. Gillian, thank you so much for joining us. Can we run through your stats real quick?
Absolutely.
Full name,
Gillian Michelle Power,
position,
CIO at Lathrop GPM,
hometown,
Durban, South Africa,
where are you right now?
just outside Kansas City.
What's your coffee order?
Half calf with solar roast beans from Solar Roastery in Pueblo, Colorado, with a decaf, drip, half and half.
I'll edit that decaf part out. We don't let that on our podcasts. So one of the things that I have found so remarkable for our task force and for this event is the ability for all of us to build bridges to each other and then to make business scenarios and business solutions available by using DEI. One of the things I want to ask you about is what's your view on how businesses need to adapt to be more inclusive?
I am exceptionally optimistic for the future. There is a generation of leaders, senior leaders in business organizations and nonprofits who understand now that DEI is no longer an option. It's no longer a blurb on the website. It is necessary as a core of the fabric of the organization. Yes, many companies are struggling to understand how to achieve it, and the path ahead for many feels perilous. It feels complicated. It feels convoluted. But despite that, I'm seeing signs from my vantage point that people are finding the courage to progress on that path. They've connected the goal and the benefits to the work that needs to be done, and they're pursuing their courses in advancing this. But with anything complicated, with anything dealing with people, there's a lot of work to do.
One of the things our task force is in charge of, other than working on these events and making sure that we're doing justice to our core values, has been the climate survey. Can you tell me what you're really seeing coming out of our climate survey and what our constituency can look forward to over the next year?
When we conceived of the idea of doing a climate survey, our goal was to approach this as empirically as we could. We didn't want to present to the membership of ILTA a series of anecdotes and suppositions about how people felt or didn't feel. And the survey has surfaced incredible insights into the sentiments and the views of our membership. And it allows us to chart a clearer course for how to apply resources and how to apply energy to the work ahead. I think many legal technology organizations, or put it another way, IT departments and law firms, aren't really challenged necessarily to think about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Certainly our peers within corporate legal settings have had a lot of infusion of need there, and other organizations that make up our ecosystem. But I believe that there is still a significant challenge with regard to the business value of diversity, equity, and inclusion as it pertains to revenue enablers within more traditional law firm structures. That's not to say that the people outside of the traditional law firm technology environments aren't also challenged as well. At all, but I'm speaking from my primary vantage point in this respect.
What are you most looking forward to as we head toward 2025 for DE&I?
What I'm looking forward to is that the need and the actions required are not even up for debate anymore. That we can dispel any notions about why this is a core principle to ILTA's functioning. That the membership understands that competitive business advantage is strongly predicated on the quality of the diversity, equity, and inclusion within an organization. If that connection is understood, if it becomes part of many businesses' core operating principles, if my peers as leaders take this on as an objective in their areas that they control, the success would be 1,000-fold over what I would believe is even achievable at this point. But that's the vision that I carry, and that's the vision that I want to do everything in my ability and the ability of the task force to see come to fruition.
Gillian, thanks so much for leading the charge with us, and thank you for joining us for our DEI inaugural event.